I am not aggressive by nature, and I cannot shout over people or try and kind of get the attention on myself. I'm not too good at that. The children do get affected the most out of it because the sins of their parents and they have to suffer it. Walking out of a relationship, especially when you have a child, is possibly the hardest. I'm not being dramatic, but I have to literally go into my bathroom with a pillow and scream into the pillow. I also tell women and men, honestly, there's nothing worse than being in a bad marriage. Being divorced is like having some untouchable disease or something.
Yeah.
We don't realize how harmful gossiping just can be. Just
Yeah.
gossiping,
Yeah.
just loose gossiping. You can destroy someone's entire character. Can you just be my therapist? Because mine sucks.
Hey guys, my name is Shravan Shah, and today I'm going to be having a conversation with the super talented Kalyani Saha Chawla in the house. What is up?
What is up?
How are you doing, Kalyani?
How you doing?
I am doing very good. How are you doing?
It's been fabulous.
Oh my god. Very, very subtly plugging it there. But listen, Kalyani, I want to ask you this straight up. Okay. So, whoever I spoke to, and I told them I'm interviewing Kalyani today, the one thing that they said was that Kalyani is a fun person and she was very guarded on the show. How true is that?
I wasn't guarded. I think sometimes I'm a bit of a voyeur and I like to watch and observe and listen. And that is a learning by itself.
Yeah.
And when there's 7 women together, I am not aggressive by nature and I cannot shout over people or try and kind of get the attention on myself. I'm not too good at that.
Yeah.
So I think I enjoyed watching people. It was enjoyable, irritating, sometimes amusing, a mixture of all these emotions. I think I was rolling my eyes a lot, and I am actually a very transparent human being, and
Yeah.
my face is literally every emoji is on my face. Like
Yeah.
I can be zipped in the mouth, but I am so transparent. It's actually pretty horrific, and I'm embarrassed of
Yeah.
myself most times. I'm like, oh my God, no, that could have been avoided because somebody said, you just have to see your face. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So no, I just feel I'm very transparent and I also don't pretend
Mhm.
and I'm not hypocritical
Yeah.
from any angle. And I think that came across.
That was very
I
evident in the show.
and I think authenticity
Mhm.
and being genuine, especially on a reality show,
Yeah.
that I feel goes a long way. I don't think I was invisible. I was very
No, no,
much
you were,
there,
yeah, for
but
sure.
only because you don't speak or talk or shout or try and be, you know, I'm very erudite on a normal basis. I'm very expressive on a normal basis. And I think sometimes in the show, I know for a fact, and everyone's observation has been this is not the Bengal tigress we know.
Yeah.
But probably that opportunity didn't come up, or sometimes when there is a situation where everyone's speaking, I can't be the 7th person also trying to make a point. And
Yeah.
I am not that person. I'm not aggressive. I don't need to kind of garner that kind of attention on myself. And it was a lot of fun. But yes, it was a melee of 7 different personalities,
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a bit hard to kind of make yourself heard, and sometimes you don't need to make yourself heard.
Okay then. Okay. No, but listen, the one conversation for sure I knew that I want to bring it up. Uh, so there's this specific part in the show where my heart went out to you. And that part was your conversation with Seema when you all went out. And I don't think reality show can get more real than that.
Just went for a walk,
Huh.
and of course we were being filmed, let's be real,
Yeah.
but we didn't know what we were going to talk about. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, so it's like it wasn't a scripted
Stupid part. Yeah.
conversation which no part of it is scripted in the show. But I think Seema and I have a lot in common.
Yeah.
We've led kind of similar lives. We have grown up children. We've gone through broken marriage, and the children do get affected the most out of it because the sins of their parents and they have to suffer it. So I've always connected with her in that level. Being a single parent, I have been, my daughter is my greatest pride, but also I know how hard it has been for her. And I know Seema in the second season, she had a very poignant scene with her son
Yeah.
when she had changed her name. So I kind of brought that up because we all have our struggles, but it's the smallest things which are the biggest struggles.
Yeah.
And it meant so much to him because I mean it touched me. It really touched me. That's why I brought it up in conversation. And you know all this time, this whole bravado of oh, I'm so happy I'm single.
Yeah.
And oh, it's fine, because you're just trying to put up that front of, I mean, I'm an extremely independent woman. I brought my daughter up on my own. My financial independence is my superpower. And that's something I talk about all the time, because I think that is something that every woman, honestly, this is the only message I want to give out. Every woman, please be financially independent. Doesn't matter who your father is, who your husband is, and because you never know where life takes you.
Yeah.
And this is something I propagate all the time. And she's also a working girl, and she's has her own label, etc. So I admire that about women. And the fact that we've had that similar circumstances, uh, I think we connected in that conversation. It just happened. And we were both so vulnerable, and I thought about it later, especially when I was watching that scene. I was like, wow, that was something.
Yeah.
And it's hard, it's hard to be sometimes not put up a brave front. And it's just, it's tiring after a while, because you're just trying to put up that front. And both of us have one thing in common: we're all looking for love. And sometimes single women will say, oh please, and not, dude, can't live with them, can't live without them either. So it's kind of, at this age and stage of my life, I have a daughter who's in her mid 20s, but you don't give up on love. And this is also what to tell women. I mean, you get divorced, you get married, you get divorced, it doesn't matter. Don't give up on love, and you're never too old to find love.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think these are some of the messages that also, because it's a seven women show.
Yeah.
It's a women show, and we all had different lives,
Journeys.
different journeys, different experiences. And I think it was also hopefully an inspiring message for someone who out there thinks, oh my god, now I have to worry about my daughter getting married, and I can't think about this is
Yeah.
a very typical Indian society where you think, like, how can I even talk about it? How can I
Yeah.
even talk about that I'm looking for love at this stage when I need to get my daughter married? For your daughter, he's looking after herself,
Self. Yeah.
hopefully, and she'll get married, and that's her journey.
Journey. Yeah.
But what about yours? So these are little things I tried. I spoke about mental health.
Yeah.
Karan and I had a really beautiful conversation, and that was, I think, a very important.
I want to ask you this. I'm going to actually take you back in time. And I feel like, what you said, that right now it sounds cool that, okay, I'm single, I'm independent, and all of that.
Mm.
But I know the time when it hit you that, hey, the marriage is not working. I have to look after my daughter. Uh, it must have all come crashing down. Okay. When that all comes crashing down, how does somebody hold their ground strong and be like, you know what? It's okay. I'll figure this out. Do you remember that moment?
It was, walking out of a relationship, especially when you have a child, is possibly the hardest. The circumstances, I'm not going to go into right now
Yeah.
because there's no need, but it was obviously something that I have no regrets about.
Yeah.
Um, it's just something that's threw us into the deep end, and I think the whole family,
Yeah,
actually. I can't just say about me. It was as difficult for my ex husband. And it's a huge amount of adjusting,
yeah,
and I have had mental health issues and I spiraled. I really spiraled. And what is hardest is the fact that you have to put up an act
yeah,
for a child who I never wanted to be anything but this happy and smiley and upbeat and positive, and also work 18 hours a day to make sure she got the best life ever and not compromised on anything.
yeah,
So the pressure of trying to be something which you're absolutely not feeling inside.
yeah,
Like, I'm not being dramatic, but I have to literally go into my bathroom with a pillow and scream into the pillow because out of just, you're just frustrated. Or I have to drive out of my house because I didn't want Tyra to, even feel there was something out there. I should literally take a ride. I said, I'm just coming, baby. I should like go drive out to the thing, have a good howl and come back. Like I was very, very protective about her not seeing me unhappy
yeah,
or her not seeing me unhappy because she was very small, she was confused. But Nani was the closest person to her. So she was going to Nani's house. So in that way, because Nana Nani have always Dadu and Nani actually. So, but my parents live in Calcutta. So she was confused, but it's never a good time. No
yeah,
stage and age is a good time for parents to separate,
yeah,
and it was a very difficult time, but then I had to balance that and
yeah,
I had to make sure that Tara was protected during that time. So it was, to answer your question, super tough.
yeah.
Nobody in the world will tell you, no woman or man or child involved will tell you, oh, yeah, I mean, it was okay. No,
No,
it's
it's
probably
never
one of the
okay.
hardest decisions you
Yeah,
make and one of the most, I mean, it's a really difficult decision to begin with. And
yeah,
then when it happens, you are lost.
yeah,
You're lost and you keep thinking, did I do the right thing? But, and I also tell women and men, honestly, there's nothing worse than being in a bad marriage. That when you're just like gritting your teeth or just kind of saying, man, I can't do this, but you're just, and this is our society. How many women have the courage to walk? How many women are getting abused every day of their life in
yeah,
some form or the other? I'm not just talking about physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental and emotional abuse. How many women's family will take them back? Like, beta, no, 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 make it work. No, make it work. It's okay. We are here, but make it work. Make it work. I had parents who would say, not a day will you have to suffer. You come back home. So I had that support system. I come from very evolved, very, we Bengalis think differently, I guess. And my parents would, I could be married 1,000 times. They're saying, you come back home. We are not dead. Like, what the hell? So I had that comfort. I was very lucky. And that really was my strength,
yeah,
because I knew how many people I know, how many women I know, they can't even go back to their own homes.
yeah.
I mean, the wealthiest families. It's just, it's sad, but it's the truth.
It's the truth. That's true.
And that's
Damn.
just the way our society works, no matter how well traveled and how, you know evolved they think they are. We are degenerating in our thought process. That has to change. The
That's true.
things may have in the younger generation. Then there's also that thing of how much patience these young children have. So do you know how much we have to endure? Like, don't take it so lightly either.
But I have to say this, Kalyani, honestly, that I'm very proud of the person who's sitting opposite me today.
That's
The
so
fact
sweet.
that you
Thank
can
you.
actually sit and talk about it, and I've just heard you, but I can just feel the amount of things that you must have gone through. Uh, I mean, more power to you, your entire family, for staying, strong like a rock. Because it's not easy. It may, like you said, it may sound all hunky dory. It's not hunky
And
dory.
people judge you, Shankar.
Exactly,
People
that
judge you
that
so
bit.
much. It's like being divorced is like having some, untouchable disease or something,
Yeah.
and then the whole society and the way women look at you. The problem is that women have become women's worst enemies.
Yeah.
You do you, you do whatever it takes for you. Don't put other women down.
Yeah.
Don't, like, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I absolutely get what you're saying.
And this is something which is so intrinsically wrong in our society.
That's true.
Women are women's worst enemies.
Enemies. Yeah.
It's just awful. And, then there's, of course, social media, which is vitriolic
Yeah.
and so vicious. And the means and tools today
Yeah.
of being vicious towards someone,
It's
it's
just
just insane.
and the amount of things that are written.
And the things that are written where there's no fact check, there is no, I mean, anyone can say anything,
Yeah.
anyone can write anything. There is just such a lack of compassion.
Yeah.
There's
And
such
humanity.
and
In
lack
basic
of
humanity. Basic
I
humanity.
mean, basic humanity.
Yeah.
Like, no one's looking at someone and saying,
As a human. Nobody's
as
looking
a,
at a human.
yeah, like, as you said, there's humanity, which encompasses basically compassion, kindness, thoughtfulness, or just thinking before you say something. It's so easy to call someone a name or spread a rumor. It's like this. And you are going to look at that person with another eye altogether, even if you're not judgmental.
Yeah.
When you heard something, that thought will stay on forever. We don't realize how harmful gossiping just can be. Just
Yeah.
gossiping,
Yeah.
just loose gossiping. You can destroy someone's entire character without even knowing that person, because you're always going to, even if you're not a judgmental human being, that thought will never leave your
That's
head.
true.
Like, okay, maybe, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that, because it just tarnishes someone's image
Image.
for no rhyme or reason. And you
Yeah.
don't even know that person.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually snap you out of this thought. And I want to actually ask you, as a single parent, what is the strength that you have? Because people talk about the weaknesses of being a single parent. I want to actually ask you, what are the strengths of a single parent?
That I can control my daughter as much as I can.
Lovely.
Which is absolutely a lie. Oh my God, she's a wonderful child. I'm so proud of her. I sent her to boarding school in England when she's like 11 and a half, but I was working with Dior those days. So I
Yeah.
used to see her almost every 3 to 4 weeks because I had to travel to Paris, and then they have so many holidays. I'm like, dude, I sent you to boarding school. Why are you back? So, but she went to a very good school,
Yeah.
a very good college, and now she lives in London and she's working with Sachi's gallery. She studied art history. I'm super proud of her, because she's, again, a very non-typical Delhi child.
This feels like therapy for some strange reason, but it genuinely feels like, I'll tell you what.
I
Okay.
am overtly. You're right. I don't know how you know that.
I think it somewhere also stems from the fact that because of whatever you've gone through in life, uh, somewhere you are constantly blaming yourself. And I think somewhere you need to let that part go, because I
Can you just be my therapist, because mine sucks?
no,
I'm looking for one.
no, I genuinely mean it.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry, but I think you hit the nail on the head.
I genuinely feel
I
it.
really, as I said, I've made conscious bad decisions,
But it's okay.
and
That's what
some
makes you
of
human.
them,
I'm sorry.
that's-
That's what makes you human.
thank
That's what makes you human.
Thank
So
you.
I think, like, if you knew the decision was going to be bad, of course you wouldn't make it, right? But that's what life does. It teaches you, and I think you need to let go of the baggage.
I
generally feel you need
really
to.
do need to let go of the baggage, and it's literally that's why I feel it's been a huge burden on me mentally, and I take it out on Tyra. I take it out on her because I'm like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and why did you do this? Why do that? And I kind of have driven her a bit crazy all her life because I am overprotective about her. I'm so conscious that she should not make the mistakes that I have. But that's her journey.
I was just going to tell you
And
that.
she
And
is
you
going
know
to make her
this.
mistakes.
And you
I
know
know
that.
it. And she is going to make the mistakes that she has to make,
Yeah.
which is life,
Yeah.
which is everyone has their own path
Yeah.
that they have to travel on, And but I am just paranoid about
You cannot be,
her
Kalyani.
making, but I can't. I mean, it's also I'm the biggest fatalist. I really believe in fate and destiny. I mean, who the hell planned my life to be like who?
No, but
Who
I
wrote
also
those
feel, I
lines,
generally also feel that when life happens to people like,
Yeah.
you, I think it's also because God's like, this person's really powerful. This person can handle this.
Wow. You know what? My mom told me a long time ago. There are a couple of very. She was this amazing woman. She's just her thought process, and today I am who I am because of the women in my life.
Yeah.
Both set of my grandmothers and my mom. Um, and she said that something equivalent of, oh my God, why me?
Yeah.
Like why
Yeah.
me was God testing me. So you think God always puts you in a position where He knows,
You can get through.
she knows, Durga,
Yeah.
Kali knows that you can handle it.
Yeah. That's
And she's always saying, but look at you. You've handled it. You've handled every situation.
with grace
Yeah.
and poise.
So stop complaining. And another thing she said to me, count your blessings
Yeah.
more than your complaints.
Yeah.
Stop. And she used to
Absolutely.
get like, stop, like just stop. And she used to like slap me down to earth. So, there are so many aspects of someone who goes through any kind of emotional suffering or grief or thinking. I have been through life honestly thinking I wasn't good enough, through broken relationships, through I always thought it was my fault. And you always look at it like, am I not good enough for someone to just stick with me? And I have so much love to give still.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
Probably I'm just going to say this, that because you have so much love to give, the right person's coming your way. When? Very soon.
when?
Very soon. No, honestly, I genuinely feel this, that Kalyani, your name means blessing.
Oh my God!
Your name means
You're
blessing.
the only one who knows that. Because
What?
I was asked, yeah, because no one's ever said this. People are constantly asking me, but yeah. Oh wow, thank you.
Your name means blessing,
Yeah.
and you generally are a blessing to so many women out there, because to a lot of people, Fabulous Lives versus Bollywood Wives this time uh, may look as just a show of these people enjoying their rich life. But this season, and I'm going to say it again on camera, that this season actually addressed so many things that it's not even funny anymore, because it spoke about women, it spoke about women's issues, it spoke about different kinds of women and the issues that they go through. And I think the underlying factor was that it does not matter where you come from, women go through this. And you have given power to so many women on the show, through the show actually, when you spoke about the topics that you spoke about.
Thank
So
you.
honestly, I want to say this, that you genuinely are a blessing to those women.
Thank you so much.
Kudos to you for doing that. And I'm very proud of the woman that you are today.
Thank you.
For everything that you've gone through, you've really come into your own. You are, they say, Ansh of goddess. I can see that. I can see that.
That's
so
a big one.
yeah, no, I'm telling you, I can see that. So keep soaring high always, for many, many more successful things coming your way. I'm going to see you super soon. I hope you enjoyed this conversation.
I loved our conversation. This was literally therapy. You have another job.
Yes,
another
I feel
vocation.
like. But till then, guys, this one is a wrap.